All right, people, the day has finally come. I'm caving in and making you guys the viral Marry Me Salmon pasta, which is basically Tuscan salmon pasta, and I made it like 2 or 3 years ago. But nonetheless, this recipe is gonna be absolutely delicious. You're gonna love it. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. All right, guys, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and season our salmon. Now for me, I like to leave the skin on because it's nutritious, adds a little texture and flavor. If you don't like it, you can remove it or ask your butcher to do that. The easiest way to remove salmon, if you're not comfortable using the knife, is to cook it first and then the salmon comes off super easy. I'm leaving it on because that's how we do it at my house. Totally optional for you. We're gonna go ahead and season this with my all-purpose seasoning and my lemon bay seasoning. You can use any alternative that you like, any all-purpose that you have in the house, any seafood seasoning you like. Tony's is good, some Old Bay, something like that will get the job done, or some lemon pepper if you're into that. Really just use whatever you like on your salmon. But this is what I like, and this is what we got. We got a little salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, some lemon, some Cajun flavors. All things that pair beautifully with salmon. So season both sides adequately. I like to present my salmon flesh side up, so I season that last. That way it looks good on camera. And that's what we're going with today as well. Gordon Ramsay might yell at me for not going skin side down first, but I don't care. There we go, beautifully seasoned salmon fillet. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and prep our shallot in fresh garlic. You can use onion in place of the shallot if you like. This is an abnormally large shallot, which is good, so we don't have to use another one. One large shallot or a medium-sized onion. Go ahead and peel the skin off, give it a fine dice. They do the same thing with garlic. So you can use fresh garlic, minced garlic, roasted garlic, whatever floats your boat. You guys know I like to use my garlic in the tube for the garlic paste, but today we're using fresh. Real simple, dice it the same way you would an onion. Leave the root intact. Slice one way. You want to go cut right down the middle, like so. It's a very oddly shaped shallot. And then just dice it up. Shallot's a little bit milder than onion. I like to use it for sauces like in pasta and whatnot. So it's a great option. They're always in the produce section beside the onions for those of you guys that don't really cook with shallots that often. Very similar flavor profile though. Now as for the garlic, we're gonna go ahead and smash it like so. Peel it and then give it a nice fine dice also. That's the easiest way to peel garlic in my opinion. Just give it a little smash with the palm of your hand or the flat end of your knife. Real easy.
And this episode is sponsored by MSMK. These pans are some of the best I've used in quite a long time. The Pro Nonstick technology is absolutely amazing. You can get restaurant quality meals at home just like a pro chef with MSMK Nonstick frying pan set. These are coated with a triple layer of nonstick material, tough titanium ceramic, and diamond compound to make them super durable. They're also PFOA free. There's no nickel, no lead, or other heavy metals. And one of the features I love the most is the Stay Cool steel handle. This allows the handle to dissipate heat effectively and keep the handle cool continuously, keeping yourself and your loved ones safe while cooking. The sealed design with stainless steel surface refined polish and prevents any soup or sauce from getting inside, making it super easy to clean. This pan set is oven safe up to 700 degrees, with most common pans only able to make it to 450 degrees. They also have very professional heat distribution, so you can sear your salmon to perfection like I did today, baste it in some butter, and then pop it in the oven to finish. So make sure you take a second to use the link below and use my discount code to save yourself some money while you upgrade your cookware.
All right guys, so we're gonna take our beautiful new pan set and put it to use. We have these salmon fillets that we're gonna pan sear. I'm gonna hit the skillet with a little bit of avocado oil, and then we're gonna warm it over medium heat. I'm going skin side down first, get a nice color. Then we're gonna finish those in the oven, and then we're gonna use the same pan to make our sauce. So what you want to do is lay the fish in the pan away from you, that way you don't splatter yourself. Make sure it's making good maximum surface area contact with that skillet so you can get some nice even color. You may want to occasionally press down with your hands just to make sure that each part of the fish is kissing that skillet. All right, so once you get some beautiful color on the flesh side of your salmon, we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of butter to the party, because butter makes everything better. Tilt the skillet towards you, and then just baste your salmon fillets in that butter. Then we're gonna finish the salmon in the oven. That butter and salmon flavor is gonna help flavor our sauce for the pasta. All right, so as you can see, we still have all that deliciousness in the skillet from searing our salmon. We're now gonna add our shallot to the party. Get that a head start along with our sun-dried tomatoes, about a 1/4 cup of those. You can add a teaspoon or 2 of that delicious olive oil that it comes in. That's not gonna hurt nothing. So to mix that in, and then after that gets a head start, we're gonna add in our garlic. You don't wanna add the garlic too soon because it has a tendency to burn. And when garlic burns, it gets real bitter and it can, ruin the flavor of your pasta sauce. So now we're just gonna saute this until it comes together, starts to tenderize a bit. It's already smelling really good. I love sun-dried tomatoes. They're a cheat code in a lot of recipes. Another thing I like to do is add the red pepper flakes a little bit early. They can kind of toast in that olive oil a little bit and kind of wake up. Enhances the flavor a bit. If you don't want any spice in this, you can leave those out. That's an optional ingredient, but I do like that, contributing to the flavor profile here on this sauce. Next, we're going to some dried oregano, about a teaspoon of that. Same thing, you want to get it in there a little bit early so it can rehydrate a bit in that olive oil and it'll wake it up some. You really get the flavors to come through a lot more that way. Now it's time for the garlic. If it wasn't already smelling good, now it definitely is. Next up, it's time to go in with our spinach. About 2 cups of fresh spinach. It's going to cook down significantly. Let's add a little bit of freshness to the dish. It's kind of heavy with the heavy cream, so the spinach is kind of nice. It's going to add some nice color as well. So we're going to cook that down. Let's give that a minute or 2. It'll cook down and start to almost disappear a little bit. At this point, I'm going to begin to season it with my all-purpose seasoning and then just a pinch of chicken bouillon powder. Other than the bouillon powder, there's not a lot of salt in this sauce, but there's plenty in this. So we're going to let that do most of the heavy lifting on the sodium side of the seasoning. Then once the spinach cooks down, I'm going to deglaze with a little bit of the pasta water and then add in the heavy cream. Next up, we're going with about a tablespoon of tomato paste. That's gonna help add a little bit more concentrated flavor to those sun-dried tomatoes. It's also gonna add a beautiful color to your pasta sauce. So I really like to add it to this recipe. Once we get that in there, 1 cup of heavy cream going in. Just give everything a nice little mix. And then we'll start to add in a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Finish those pasta noodles in the sauce the way the good Lord intended. Then plate that up with our salmon. We have ourselves a delicious salmon pasta for dinner. Once your pasta's done, we're gonna go ahead and add it to our sauce. That way it can finish cooking, start to absorb all the flavor. Very important step there. Beautiful color working. I'm not supposed to be eating pasta right now, but I gotta have me a few bites of this. In goes a little bit of that Parmesan cheese. Pecorino Romano will work as well. I'll just work that in right here at the end. Taste for seasoning one last time. You always want to do that after you add the cheese because, Parmesan cheese is pretty salty, so you don't want to go too crazy. But there we go. Add a little fresh lemon just to add a little acidity to offset some of the fattiness from the cream. We got the perfect flavor going for our pasta here. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, my friends, we found our fork and it is time to dig in for the taste test. The The salmon is nice and flaky, nice and moist. There we go. Gotta work hard for that perfect bite. If you haven't already, you gotta try that. Even if you have already, you need to try this recipe.
Let's watch the video for this part. Ooh, wee.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a monster bite.
Yeah, that's wild.
This is a very wild one.
Yeah.
I should go for it.
Somebody gonna marry you after that.
You gotta go for it.
Let me know what the f I want to say after that. Can you cut after You're Gonna Love It?